All right, today we're going to work on the hat and highlighting the hat. So we have the first layer, which was burnt umber. The second layer, I'm going to use titanium buff, Naples yellow, and white, titanium white. So I'm just going to try first to do a bit of highlights without any kind of pattern on it. So you know the pattern of the what is it called?
Straw or whatever it is.
Straw. Yeah, the straw. Thank you. So I'm just going to take for the first layer titanium buff and Naples yellow. And we might need either ultramarine violet or burnt umber. We'll see in a minute. We'll see how much we're going to get in terms of highlight. This is titanium buff and Naples yellow. So what I'm trying to do is keep the back of the hat right here where I'm painting right now. I'm trying to keep it darker, kind of. So my paint is not very thick because I want to take advantage of the burnt umber I have right now, and I will start highlighting slowly, leaving maybe the back of the hat the same way it is right now. Yeah, I think it's good. That's good. So it's not covering completely. And now I'm going to take, with the round brush, a thin line over here. Then again over here. Maybe I should just, you know what? I'll just zoom in a bit so you can see. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take the brush and then I'm just going to paint this part of the hat. And I will gauge after if the inside of the hat needs to be changed or adjusted in terms of highlights or shadow, change the color of the shadow of the hat. This is good. All right, this is good as far as first layer. Now I'm changing my brush into a smaller one. I'm going to take just a bit of the titanium buff and make it more kind of into thin the paint, make it like a glaze. Paint the inside and I'll show you what we're going to do. I know it looks too light right now. I'm going to take a little bit of burnt umber. Another way of doing this is using ultramarine violet, but I think I like the idea of the burnt umber, and let's add tiny bit of Naples yellow and then paint this. It's not harsh like before. It was too harsh before. It's softer now. It's darker, but it's softer. That's good. I'll give you some time to do this, and then we'll come back and highlight the hat more. Okay, let's see. Take titanium buff. And a bit of Naples Yellow. And we're going to start from here, where the light is. Go with the movement if you want to get some pattern. Go with the movement of the straw. Just give it a little bit of, instead of just kind of having a covering the hat with the highlight, add a tiny bit of lines, small, very small. Now I'm adding a little bit of white to the same mixture, and I'm just going to start from here. Let's take a tiny bit. If you find that the hat is looking too white, take a bit of Naples Yellow and put it on top. Don't worry too much about the pattern of the straw. What we want to see is much more important is the highlight, not the straw. I'm going to stop here. Don't take the highlight all the way down. The back should be always darker. And we don't need much. That's it. Okay, I'm going to take a tiny bit of burnt umber and ultramarine violet. And darken this because I lost a bit the shadows in the back. Okay. And that's, I think, would be enough. I'm going to stop recording. Okay, let's do the skin tone or the skin color. I have here burnt sienna, and this is Winsor & Newton burnt sienna. It has a bit of more orange in it, like it's a little bit orangey. Burnt umber, yellow ochre, and white. Simple, very simple. We don't have a lot of skin in here in this painting, and it's not a portrait. So I'm mixing now a bit of burnt umber and yellow ochre. I'm sorry, burnt umber and burnt sienna. And the reason I'm doing this right now is that this is the dark part. I'm going to use it on the hand. Oh, sorry. Yes, hand. It's just the dark part here, and we'll let it dry, and then we'll go to the face. We really want a dark color in here.
So burnt sienna and burnt umber, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Very simple. Not a lot of details for the hands. Her fingers are more like, You know how dolls' fingers are usually, they are kind of like this. These two are connected. These two. This is kind of like the same idea.
Right.
And that one is, yeah. So do that. And I'm just going to change my brush. It's too big. And I'm going to do the other hand. And we'll do the bottom part. We no need to do the upper part for now, where the highlight is, because we're going to, we don't need, where there's a light color, we don't need to put too much dark in there.
And that's burnt sienna and burnt umber.
Yes.
Sorry.
No problem. Here we go. Now, for the face, I'm just taking burnt sienna, yellow ochre, and white. So I'm going to do first layer. It's going to dry a little bit darker, but that is a really good skin tone. Don't forget that her face is going to be covered with her hair. Okay, and then same. This is kind of a mid-tone, not too light and not too dark for the skin, because we can highlight with this. We have room to highlight. I'll put it on her arm right here, on her hand, I'm sorry, her hand. And I'm just going to take a little bit of, I will stop in a minute so you can catch up with this. Just here, I'm just going to put a tiny bit of a darker skin tone. Lighter here. Tiny bit of a lighter skin tone right here. Oh, I can't see it. All right, we're not gonna spend too much time on hands, just to give it a good, nice dark and light. I'm just gonna, okay. All right, I'm gonna stop for a minute. All right, let's highlight the face now. It's the same colors. I'm going to take burnt sienna, a little bit of yellow ochre, and white. Now I'm putting a lot more white. So when you put white, if your color is leaning more towards yellow, take a bit of more burnt sienna and put it in. It shouldn't be too yellow. That's because there's too much yellow ochre in it. I'm going now to highlight part of the neck Also some of the face, because that's where the light is hitting. Don't take your highlight all the way down. I'll just here. This is where the ear is. Then I'm going to go down this way. And we're going to keep this part darker. This is the chin color down here. Should be darker, should be light. So, and then now I'm going to go back, push highlights. Don't worry, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to be covered with the hair anyways, so okay. So now if there's anything else that we need to highlight, like this part of the hand right here, let's do that. The other hand should stay in the dark. Just gonna, what I'm going to do is a little bit of pushing or softening this, because you know acrylic dries darker and it dries harsh. There, that's better for the neck and the bottom of the chin right here. Legs. We're going to take burnt umber, burnt sienna. Let's put a bit of yellow ochre in here. It's dark, but it doesn't have to be very dark, you know, like harsh. Let's take a bit of that red, so more burnt sienna, because you can see that her skin tone is more on the reddish side. Because of the sun, and I'm putting a bit of yellow ochre in there, and we'll start with this leg. We can just do this if we want. We don't have to, you know, cover the whole leg, but I like to cover the whole leg because I find that because acrylic dries harsh, it will create a line in there that's very hard to cover. It's not like oil where it's soft and you can cover it. You can cover the connection, the transition between dark and light. I find it's a bit harsher with acrylics. Okay, it's fine. We don't have to do this part of the foot. You can hardly see this foot right here because it's so dark. So we can take a little bit more of the burnt umber and, oh, jeez, and darken this one here. Now, I'm going to take burnt sienna, no burnt umber, just burnt sienna, yellow, yellow ochre, white, and do a mid-tone, skin tone that's like a mid-tone skin tone. Start from here. I think, yeah, I think we could see a bit of from here. And this part here, although all of this is going to be way lighter. You take white, more white into this color, stronger white. Now what I need to do is soften a bit the darks, the dark part, because it's drying really dark. So I'm going to take the mid-tone, put it in the dark color, which is burnt umber and a bit of burnt sienna. Because this will be dark, but it will be more kind of creamier looking. I'm going to take more of the mid-tone and soften this dark. Because it is dark, but it's not heavy. It still has the skin tone there showing. So I'm mixing the dark color with the mid-tone. That's much better. Perfect. I'm not going to touch this one here, the dark, the foot right there. I'm going to keep it just the way it is. Okay. Now let's go back to this part and add more white to the mid-tone, not the light, not the dark, I'm sorry, not the dark, mid-tone. I'm going to change my brush and get a smaller one that I can control, so I can get more control over the, and let's do this. So I think part of her toes are covered with sand, but there is a strong, very strong highlight right here that goes all the way up. And here. you just need to pay attention to all of these little kind of movements in here, or I should say the shadows, light and darks. Just kind of, we need to have more of a softer transition, a soft transition. Okay, so this is now here in between. I'm darkening a little bit this part, not much, just a tiny bit. So we have, because you can see it's it doesn't just go from light to dark to light. There's dark, medium, light. So just kind of the paying attention to all the values in there. Soft, very soft values makes a big difference, especially with skin tone. I'm going to highlight this part a little bit more. And also a little bit more here, because this is where the strong highlight is. And then it becomes mid-tone here, very soft, right there. Strong here, mid-tone, dark. Dark, mid-tone, and highlight here, strong highlight. We don't need to blend too much between both, between the mid-tone, like between this. Even if it stays like this, it's fine. I'm going to take a little bit of a highlight and just kind of highlight her where her toes are. This is really very interesting. When you look carefully at her feet, you will see those subtle values that change from one part to another. That's good. I'm going to put a tiny bit of dark around her shadow, right there. I will soften it in a minute. Okay. A little bit more of the white with the skin tone, more white with the skin tone. And I'm just going to highlight mid-tone here. I think I pushed a bit the mid-tone. I pushed it out. I'm going to push it back in to the back of the foot. And I'm going to darken a little bit here because where the heel is, it starts to go in. So it shouldn't be that light. It's light here, but where the heel is, right there, it goes in and it gets more shadow in there. What I'm doing right now is just kind of putting a little bit more highlights here and there because, you know, acrylic dries darker. So I'm just kind of highlighting some parts, not everywhere, where I find that it's not light enough. And that's it. We're done. Okay. We're done with the skin tone. Next week, we will work on the hair and the dress.